What is going on today, everybody? Welcome to another episode of StreamKey, episode 144. We got a special guest today, Nagata Lock. It's been a minute since we've had him on the show, but it's always good to have you. How you doing today, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Glad to be here.
Awesome. And then, as always, we got the great co-host, Sadomi. What's going on, my dude?
Hey, what it do, babies? We got a lot to talk about today. It's gonna be fun.
Hell yeah. All right, so sorry about my voice, by the way, guys. Feeling a little under the weather today, but we're gonna proceed. So first topic we got for today is Tyler One takes a month and a half off streaming and loses 15,000 subs. So basically, the reason why he took a month and a half off of streaming was to focus on getting challenger rank in League of Legends, playing as a jungler. I'm pretty sure. I'm very ill-informed on League of Legends. But basically, he was trying to say that only bad players play this role, and he was trying to show that a good player could go through and dominate all these junglers. And apparently he did it, I guess. And it took him a month and a half to get this going. But when he came back, he voiced his opinions about the 15,000 sub loss, which is a crazy amount. And we've seen stuff like this happen before with like Ninja, who he took 2 days off one time to host a tournament for Fortnite, and he lost $40,000 in subscriptions in just 2 days. So it's not something that we have never heard of before. But so starting with Sadomi, what do you have on this one, my guy?
I mean, welcome to streaming. That's how the industry works.
Yep.
If you're not popular in this minute, you're gonna lose traction in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
If I guess the best way to kill a content creator is not to talk about them, even if it's bad press. Like you can look at it from any of the people who went through all that drama a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
Their numbers went up higher because, like I said, the more you're talked about, the more people have you in the mind. Whether it's a bad opinion or a good opinion of you, it's still just better than nothing. Numbers wise.
Absolutely. Nagata?
Yeah, it's one of those like odd spots because so many people nowadays they recommend diversify for this particular reason, right? So you run into a situation where you've got all your eggs in one basket and it's like the fattest basket. You've got all these subs in it, but you don't have any other platform that's drawing. The term is classified as passive revenue. But basically, like you have no other means of like revenue coming in. So this man like leaves his it's like taking sabbatical from your job,
Right.
and it's like, hey, I want to pursue this really great hobby. I'm gonna put my salary on hold while I do so. And your job's just like, sure, go nuts, pursue your passion, and like see where it goes. But like more often than not, and you see it a lot with the whole concept of like competition versus streaming.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, competitive revenue or like what you're going to get from like, let's say esports or whatever else, it pales in comparison to the top of the food chain on Twitch. So like you see like the pro players in every esport you can think of, they come back around and like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to Twitch. I'm gonna quit this.
Yeah.
Like I can make, let's say, even on the higher end of things, I can make $150,000 doing esports, or I can make maybe $800,000 just streaming 5 days a week to 25,000 viewers to play the exact game that I would have done without traveling, without having to deal with a manager, without having to deal with anything else. And so, like, you look at Tyler One, you're like, okay, I want to be the best jungler, and I need to concentrate. And you do. Like, every last one of us up in here can attest to that. You play better off stream than you do on stream. There's just so many less distractions. But like, what was the cost of your concentration? Like
Right.
15K at a partner level, it's probably about $40,000 in revenue. That's in subs. It doesn't count as bits. It doesn't count as potential like tips or anything like that. That's direct revenue. That's $40,000 direct revenue. His 6 weeks probably cost him 50K. Like, was it worth it? I don't know. But his stance was fascinating though. It's like, y'all fake because you didn't sub. And like, I don't know how you guys feel about it. When I know, even streamers that I subscribe to religiously, when I know they're going on break longer than a month, I unsub. I'll come back. Holla at you. But $5 out is $5 out. So like, what am I spending it on? Like blankscreen.com? No. Like I'm gonna come back around and drop the $5 on you when you're back. So that's just me. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm the same way. I don't, like I said, if I didn't stream for 6 weeks, yeah, unsub. Like, why would you? You're paying for nothing at that point. So, like, I get it. And I I've definitely, in fact, I've actually even stopped doing auto resubs just in general. Like I sub to someone and go to subscriptions on Twitch and just cancel immediately because just I don't know, rather sub when I want to.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I've kept my subs during some streamers breaks before, but most of the time it's I usually cancel it, to be honest. I mean, like you guys have been saying, $5 is $5. So but yeah, just an interesting thing that happened, and I thought it was cool that, I mean, obviously his community wanted him to do that, so that kind of does suck that they still didn't sub during that. But you also have to, like you guys have been saying, if there's no content, then what are you going to do with that? But yeah, I just thought it was cool. He took a month and a half off just to pursue something that didn't really get him anything aside from bragging rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Which
but yeah,
also,
just
sorry to cut you off, but also kind
Yeah,
of
you're
brings up that money really isn't everything.
right.
I've learned from people who have a lot more money than me that at a certain point, I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but a certain point, once you get up here, money starts getting a lot less important. Like
Mhm.
you be willing to sacrifice more for more time, more focus, more personal like endeavors. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, money's a tool, not a life goal per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happiness and time are the most important things for sure.
Time more than anything. Like absolutely. Like you sacrifice
Mhm.
so much time for stability. And then you move from stability to be like being in like a fortunate situation, hopefully. At that
Mhm.
point in time, pun intended, I guess, all you want is more time.
Mhm.
You want to be able to enjoy your life. You want to be able to enjoy your family, potentially children, like whatever else. And so you sacrifice and you work and you work and you work just so you can have more time to not work and work and work.
Right.
At his level, assuming that he was in, a certain particular like revenue ballpark, the 15K is almost like a footnote. Like he's one of like the best, or I should say best, one of the most well-known League of Legends players like on the planet.
Right.
So this is the situation where it's just like, okay, it's a hefty drop in the bucket, but considering what he's achieved and what the potential upside is and like what the value of his time is, it's most likely worth his while in the long run.
Yeah. 100%. Absolutely. But yeah, so just thought that was interesting. Next topic we have is Twitch streamers see sudden influx of DMCA strikes. I don't know if you guys have heard, but some streamers are receiving DMCA strikes on their channels. I'm sure you probably heard about it, to be honest. So there's not really much to this. Basically, it's very basic stuff. Don't play copywritten music on your stream. That's it. Like whether it's alerts, anything, just don't do it. I went through, deleted every single one of my VODs and my clips. It was heartbreaking. I hated it. But in order to not get permabanned on Twitch or risk getting permabanned on Twitch, that's something that I had to do. And as much as like that's a lot of memories that are like legitimately just gone. That's something that I decided was worth it over just getting banned permanently on Twitch. You know what I mean? So I don't know about you guys. If you guys have gone through and deleted your stuff yet, I recommend that you do. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying I personally recommend it because I'm not getting permabanned on shit.
Yeah. So I'll bring this up. So you could never play copyrighted content on your stream. If you never
Right.
owned it, you never could do it. This isn't anything new. This has been since 1998, before Twitch was even a thing. Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Read it. Check it up on it. And no, if you're a streamer, 9 times out of 10, you are not doing transformative content with the music in your streams. 9 times out of 10, you are not. With that being said, I think that deleting all of your clips and all of someone's VODs is a bit knee-jerky. Definitely go through your clips, and if you see ones that are just like people flipping, oh, you're just playing music and nothing was going on, nothing like savable, then delete those. That's fine, because you want to curate your clip feed anyway. But I think most of us will be more than fine, simply because as long as you are a good actor, as in you do not play copyright content on your streams consistently, not because as at all. Even if you do play a lot of music on your streams, you adjust it to play things that are safe for stream or stuff that you own, or maybe stuff that your musical friends may have themselves. you should be fine. Definitely read up on the laws and understand. And like I said, you've never been able to play music on your streams. Just because there was a song request feature does not mean it was a feature that is legal to use. Okay, understand your rights as a content creator. And put it like this, let's be honest. If someone used all your clips in a YouTube compilation, it got 1 million hits. and you saw no income, no revenue, or anything from it, they purposely blocked out your name from it, how would you feel about it? Pretty crappy. So don't do it to other artists.
There you go. Nagata.
Yeah, Sadomi's point actually just like came up recently before I like looped to DMCA. Because you see it a lot in competitive live streams. So you'll have, let's say, a streamer and they are covering, let's say it's a Valorant event or like whatever else. Anything that has like if it has public replay, they're running into like big problems with this now on YouTube, where you're the original content creator and you have an event and you ran the event, but the public replay of the event, let's say you casted for, it just gets scooped up by like,
Mhm.
random person who's just like, check out great Valorant tournament from X date. No credit given, no nothing. And more often than not, they're pulling fatter views than the OC of, and I'm just like, oh, and like the OC goes out on Twitter and just like, look at this thing, this is garbage. And like, meanwhile, it's just like, yeah, complain to my AdSense. Like it's just like it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to them. They're just gonna have to hold that. And like so you're running into like this similar situation now. And like the DMCA, I find it far more fascinating seeing the level of entitlement that has come from the community as a whole on this subject. It's just like
Yeah.
this is garbage. You're not letting me steal continuously, because like like and I get it because like you can see like all kinds of like different arguments that come up. And it's like this is like great advertising and advertising. I'm like you can make the argument, except that like it doesn't scale well.
No.
Like if you're Joe Schmo, like playing, Joe Schmo's Adventure while you've got like, Jay-Z in the background, that's not advertising for Jay-Z. Like you're averaging your 1/4 viewer per hour. Like there's no advertisement there. It's just straight up doesn't scale correctly, But in the meantime, you have like all these other creators, they push content. And like I discussed this with like a number of people when it first dropped. And they're like trying to like make the case like left and right. I'm like, look, here's the easiest way to do it. If you don't understand how digital music works nowadays, you put your music on a platform, and the platform pays you like an infinitesimal small amount of money per play. All right. So like if you go on Spotify and like this music gets played 50,000 times at, let's say, like 0.005 cents per play, you get X amount of money. If you're a streamer with 50,000 viewers and you had a single play, the single play went out to 50,000 people who didn't pay 50,000 0.005 cents to the artist. Like that is the thing that you have to understand when it comes to scale. Like your play went out there all over the place and the artist got one play out of it, as
Mhm.
opposed to 50,000 plays out of it. So like there has to be like a means to look at it. So like even if you were to make the case for like, let's say, advertising, the advertising doesn't fly because the cost involved is just so astronomical versus the revenue that's coming into the creator.
Mhm.
So like the thing that I think that the argument that I made that I actually agreed with was that should have either Twitch should have been more active in addressing this issue. This was kind of
Yes.
just like, I think I felt like everybody was just like on this, let's just, sail on the pirate ship and let's see how long it sails. And then eventually, like the record companies were just like, yeah, I'm gonna get mine, and the theory that was proposed, which I thought was amazing, was that uh this probably came about because like some record executive is in quarantine with like their 16-year-old and they're just like, what are you listening to? That's one of our artists. And there's like, oh, I'm watching Twitch. And like, what's Twitch? And so like they go over and they're like, oh,
Free
this
money.
this is free money, and it's like, the old cartoons where like dollar signs like pop out of your head and stuff like that. And so like they make some phone calls and like, oh, we're not getting paid for this at all. I understand. Where's our legal
Mhm.
department? Are they working from home too? And then like you just go from there,
Mhm.
because like what else are you gonna do? And like so that's the spot they're in. Like I think that it's admirable to see so many artists that are like, this is my express permission to like use my content. I think that's very cool. But the truth of the matter is, this platform needs to evolve, and its creators need to evolve in order to accommodate, everybody getting paid. Whether it's an additional subscription service of our own that routes through Twitch or Amazon Music or like whatever else. I think it's in everybody's best interest, right across the board, not just from the creators, but from like the record industry, to be able to tap into what is clearly a key demographic, ages like typically 13 to 35 that you can have for decades. It's in their best interest to find a way for everybody to benefit.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Sadomi.
the Black Okage said something beautiful about this. What's happening to Twitch right now, if this evolves more than what it's been the past few cycles, the same thing happened to YouTube. Remember in like 2006, 2008, you could watch full seasons of whatever show you could find on there. It was torrenting anime. Let's go to YouTube. But now, you can't. You be watching anime at 166p at the best on
Yep.
YouTube. They got that locked down, and that same is going to happen to Twitch, and that's only because of something where it's infancy. Twitch is still in its infancy. Twitch is only about what 9, 10 years old. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a baby. On the internet spectrum, it's a little bit older than a baby, but essentially it's still a new place. Not everyone, and also we're all very endemic to the platform. We all know about Twitch. We live, breathe, and drink, sleep Twitch. So to us, it's like bigger than what it actually is. But if you go out into a supermarket, maybe 1 out of 100 people may know what Twitch is. Maybe like 10, if that.
Yeah.
So Twitch is still tiny. But if you ask YouTube, everybody knows YouTube.
Comes pre-installed on your phone.
Exactly. Twitch is still a niche market. No matter how much you want to think it's not, it's still very tiny. So this is just the growing pains of a platform. It's going to get to a point where the bigwigs are going to be like, hey, there's money to be had here. They're going to come in. All the marketers are going to come in. Then Twitch is going to become yicky. And then we find a new platform. That's just how this all works out. It's a whole cycle of the internet.
Yeah.
We'll be MySpace in 5 years.
I hope not.
I was about to say, we all hope not. MySpace is a dead platform.
Right. Right. That's not coming pre-installed on shit.
At least you don't get to go Tumblr.
All right. So the next topic we have is Twitch streamer Raj Patel explains why he's dropping his fake name. So apparently this streamer's name is actually Austin, and I think Raj Patel is based off of an actor or something that he liked. But his tweet said, "When I look back at myself in 2013, I was ignorant and approached the Raj character as an actor." He explained, "I had a big group of friends in the Indian community and thought that meant that I understood the consequences in history of the choices I made on camera." So he's going through, he's changing everything to his real name, Austin. I just thought it was really cool. I thought it was cool of him to open up and and explain that he was ignorant before, and he's starting to grow as a person about this, and just to be that open about it. So starting with Nagata, what do you got on this, man?
I mean, like the timing is obvious. So like you take a look at a situation like this and you go, okay, well, this is clearly an offshoot of the current like Black Lives Matter movement and just awareness as a whole towards people of color and what has been going on with various peoples of color. In some cases, like in particular case, you're essentially discussing like appropriation on some level. Kudos to him in the sense that I did not know his name was not Raj Patel until about 2 days ago.
Yeah,
so,
really.
You know what I mean? Like that was entrenched and just like, man, that's amazing. They've been running with their real name this entire time. How did you not get docked? And then so I was really surprised to see this come out. But I think this sets a great example more than anything else. This is a person who has significant influence. And felt that it was in not only his best interest, but the interest of the community as a whole who gravitate toward him to be able to say, you know what, we shouldn't do this. There are people in this world who have definitely been getting the short end of the stick in any number of platforms, on any number of ways, for any number of years. And I feel that if I can do like my own small part to be able to create like a better space on this platform and as a whole, then I'm going to do it. So props to him. I got nothing but big props for former Raj, for Austin, for taking the initiative.
Yeah, absolutely. Sadomi?
Yeah, I'm always glad to see creators with significant amounts of influence, like Nagata said, to take steps forward, because that means a lot. When you have someone who is at the top who doesn't say anything, it says a lot. Like silence is probably louder than action at this point. So for me, doing something that you think benefits just the overall community as a whole, that always is brownie points for me. I never particularly watched Austin's show, But I did, and again, like I said, I never knew his name wasn't Rapunzel. In fact, I didn't even know this man was like a white dude. Not even gonna lie.
Same, man.
So it's refreshing. It's really refreshing.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like Nagata, you made some good points saying that the timing is interesting for sure, but yeah, like the fact that he's still opening up about it and addressing the issue instead of trying to avoid it is commendable for sure. Next topic we have this one. This one's crazy. So this is the year-over-year growth for each streaming platform. Listen up. So year-over-year growth between April of 2019 and April of 2020, Twitch grew 101%, including non-gaming channels and categories. I believe it was 98 or 99% if it was just including the gaming. YouTube gaming grew 65%. Facebook gaming grew 238% year over year. Mixer, on the other hand, grew 0.2% between April of last year and April of this year. Not even a full percent. So what that leads to is a total industry growth of 99%. Rip Mixer, maybe Cortez, maybe, man. 0.2% is crazy when you think about the amount of money that they spent on people like Shroud, Ninja. There's a couple other like semi big ones, like still big streamers, but not Ninja or Shroud, obviously. But there's speculation that the Ninja deal, the Shroud deal were both around the 10 million range. Like that's pretty common knowledge. So you spend $20 million for 0.2% growth. And that is nuts. And I don't know what happened to Nagata. I don't know if he's still here.
I am still here.
Okay, all right. So Nagata, I remember you were wanting to talk about this. So what do you say about that?
Sorry about that. My camera just decided to get wonky and expose my living room.
Doxed.
Oh, yo, seriously. Take a look at my balcony window. This was like mind shattering to me because there's concept versus reality. Because when you think about what the quote unquote second biggest streaming platform is, you gravitate to Mixer.
100%.
Like you don't think about like Facebook gaming and YouTube gaming are on the come up, but they're not what people say second. Everyone says Twitch
Right.
first and everyone says Mixer second. And this tells you plain as day that perception and reality are entirely two different things. In the sense that like you go, okay, Mixer second, that's great. Clearly, I don't watch what's second. And not only do I not watch what's second, I want to see what everybody else is on the come up. Facebook gaming to me, like that was the thing that like was abundantly clear to me. I see a lot of folks that they jumped to Facebook gaming. I was like, that's really strange, But then if you dig a little deeper, you realize Facebook gaming is extraordinarily we'll say monetarily incentivized for the people that they have pulled onto that platform. YouTube is a juggernaut. They've unfortunately had a lot of hiccups with their gaming division over time, but they're finding their inroads. And like when you started seeing things like acquisitions of like the Call of Duty and like the Overwatch League and stuff like that, you can see where they're going with it. But like Mixer's kind of just like been there. Mixer was second when there was only two. Mixer is perceived to be second, even though there's clearly a lot more now. But that perception isn't holding water. They've invested a significant amount of money into people they consider to be a draw, and you can go left, right, and center as to whether going for a few top of the food chain as opposed to 500 mid-high level was a better route. That's a show unto itself. But the truth of the matter is that this is a wake-up call. More than anything else, this is a wake-up call. Mixer, if you've been paying attention, has some volatility internally, and so like that needs to be addressed in order for them to be able to create a product that people want to get on board with, because right now they don't. The drop off in viewership for both Shroud and Ninja is abundant. There's no argument about that. Like they absolutely have taken it on the chin. As a creator, they don't mind because they can cry themselves to sleep on their bed of money. So like that's like that's not the end of the world for them.
That's true.
But as a platform where you expect them to draw, that is something unto itself. So like Mixer as a company worrying, Microsoft as a company, not so much. I mean, like you guys be able to like weigh into this too. It's like as a company, Microsoft is in there to experiment to find out what's going to be big, right? So it's just like, okay, what's this going to cost us? $500 million over 5 years? Yeah, we can afford that if it turns out to be the next big digital platform like on the planet. You know, like the upside is just way too significant. So you're just like, okay, you know, we're gonna plug this in, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And right now, I mean, like numbers show, if you're an executive, you're like, what's this? What's Mixer.com? You go to your account, like, what's Mixer.com? What does this cost us? And you're like, we need to have a meeting, you know, and you go from there, backing up, you know? That's my take on it, you know.
Oh,
right.
Man.
Sadomi?
That was so. Let me focus on the marketing aspect of it, because the fact that, like I said, everyone thinks of Mixer, even though it is performing like garbage, is like, shout out to the marketing team. They're doing their best. They did their best. Even if Mixer is a laughingstock of the streaming industry from a lot of people, the fact that people are still talking about it is very important, and that's why the more a platform is not talked about, the more closer to dead. Just any creator. That's just how it is. Mixer could make a comeback if they do something, but I don't see anything they're doing is like working right now. Do I think like I said, and also Microsoft has bank. Like we said, they could just spend the 500 million, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Cool. But again, I'm not in the position of having to make Mixer the next big thing or make it a competitor in actual numbers to Twitch. I wouldn't want that position unless you already have an established base. And that's the thing too. Mixer doesn't have an established base of users to pull from either. Facebook does, YouTube does, Twitch does, from just being, you know, first mover advantage, being here first. So Mixer is literally starting from zero, absolute zero. So the only thing they can do is pull users from the other platforms or bring in new people who do not know what streaming necessarily is yet. And that's what they need to do to succeed. And currently, those strategies aren't working. Yeah.
I think that if we just like touch on something in the chat, that Durham brought up. It says, I think a lot of people don't consider Facebook and YouTube a streaming platform, which is why people don't consider them in the combo as number two. So like when I'm asking like Sadomi Valley, sorry. But it's like, do you guys ever watch YouTube or Facebook streaming as yet, if at all?
Nope. Only YouTube streaming for major events like the PS5 reveal.
Yep.
Because I just know they have better quality for it, and I know they have a dedicated channel for it. I can rewind.
I will say I tried to watch the PS5 launch yesterday on YouTube, and it crashed on me, so then I just went to watch it on Twitch anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. You know what I mean? Like YouTube is like, that's what YouTube's supposed to be for, is things like that, for like at least live events and stuff. But going to Twitch to watch a launch it felt weird, but it worked out way better for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I will be honest though. I don't think that I would necessarily watch Twitch if I didn't have friends on the platform. But YouTube has a much more natural draw to me. I go to YouTube when I want entertainment, because entertainment is there, and I can kind of I know what I'm getting into when I click on a video all the time. Or streams, not necessarily. So I think Mixer has that hurdle to jump as well, where if you click on a stream, you don't know what you're going to get. It's a time investment, and a lot of people don't want to invest their time in something they're not going to get a quick return from, especially with how like the demographic of gamers, streamers, and general young people. Our attention spans are goldfish. If a video doesn't keep our attention for like 2 minutes, we're out. If we see a block of text, we skim it and then we're out. We don't have time to just be like ready to invest so much time to just learn about, okay, do I like the streamer or not? Do I like the streamer? Do I like the streamer? No, you're gonna go to people you already know, people you're already friendly with. And I think Mixer doesn't have a foot to stand on in any of those categories, because again, they're not pulling from anything. YouTube has their creators that you can binge videos from, and then they're streaming on YouTube. Cool. Twitch. Everyone who's on Twitch, everyone who streams has streamed on Twitch at some point in time. So if they have accounts, their friends have accounts, you probably already have a Twitch account, less time investment. Mixer, you have to go through their system, learn how it works, do all of that. Robot.
Yeah. Sadomi.
Yeah.
You cut out for a sec.
Okay. we'll go back. So Mixer
There you
has
go.
to do all of that. It has to figure out how they can get users in quickly, break down the emotional like walls to get into it, and respect users' time in learning the platform. Because right now, that's probably keeping people out of Mixer the most, and just the fact that everyone thinks Mixer is, like I said, the laughing stock of the streaming industry.
Yeah. I think that the community aspect, when you brought that up, that hits it like right on the head. When you go to a platform and you don't know anybody, you're automatically behind the eight ball. When you're on Twitch, there is always a sense of comfort in any place that you go. You know, you're always going to have your base. You're always going to have your safety net. You know, and then like if you go to Mixer, it's like, okay, I probably went to Mixer because I want to watch maybe 2 or 3 people that jumped ship. You know,
Mhm.
I don't know a single quote unquote homegrown talent on Mixer. Like I don't
Right.
know one. Every last person that I've ever popped in to watch on Mixer has been somebody who was already on Twitch, made a jump, and in many cases, like done very well for themselves. So congratulations to them, you know. But there was nothing about the platform that held me because like I didn't know anybody in chat. I didn't know what was going on with the content creator themselves, like what's happening there. But like with Twitch, there's always like the next channel for the next person I know with the next chat that I'm familiar with. You know, it's just like, well,
Mhm.
we're done with this bar. Want to go bar hopping? Cool. You know, so
Right.
you just go to the next spot. You know, Norm, and then you just keep moving along. You know, so like there's always like that happy place. And the thing is, like in YouTube and Facebook, like they're running into that plight. It's like somebody brought up the chat. It's like if you go into Facebook and you're in the chat, you've just doxed yourself, you know, because like your account is linked to like your profile. So like people are just like, huh, really? Let's see where you live, you know, and like that's something unto itself. And then like YouTube is just it's a cesspool, you know, like in terms of like a chat, like in terms of
Right.
like a chat, it is not a community. It is just like the worst aspects of the internet, you know,
Yeah.
congregating to, you know, write 2 words and just irritate the heck out of people. You know, so it's like
Mhm.
building community, which Twitch, you know, for you want to give Twitch a lot of flack, but one thing it has done is built communities right across the board. Like the 3 of us sit here right now, we've all got our respective communities that we've built up and great friends we've made through them. That is one great thing, and it will always be a draw for Twitch. You know, whether it
Right.
scaled from one person to the person who draws 150,000, they have communities in them. They'll always be the difference maker.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and it blows my mind that it's only a 0.2% growth. Like I've been saying on this podcast for a long time that Mixer is not as big as what they keep saying. Like, yeah, we're talking about Mixer a lot, but they're not getting the user base that they've been trying to get. And you can't, obviously it's proving you can't just buy a large streamer for $10 million and get their user base to come over.
Yeah.
I almost think that when they did make those big purchases, they almost set themselves up to where people want to see them fail. You know what I mean? Because like Twitch is like this company that used to, you know, like it's just been around for so long and they worked so hard at, you know, making something that works. And Mixer comes in or Microsoft comes in to this world and just wants to buy you and buy users and, you know, be the next best thing just based on money alone.
Mhm.
But when you have such an attachment to something like Twitch, and somebody comes in and just like they're basically trying to be like the Walmart of the streaming industry, like you almost don't even want to support that just because like like there's nothing genuine there. You know what I mean? It's just money, and you're trying to buy already established streamers, and not ones that like I don't know, like they're big streamers, but they're not the most personable streamers. You grab Ninja, who has a personality, but is definitely more known for just esports, and then you have Shroud, who is basically just more esports. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's just more like high level competition or high level gameplay.
Yep.
So what's really drawing about that? You know what I mean? Like you come over to Twitch, you see Tim the Tap Man, you have, you know, Co Carnage, you have all these people that are just community based and just want to have fun and make content.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that they set themselves up to where we as content consumers and content creators just wanted to see that kind of fail. And so far it's working because 0.2% growth in a year is nuts.
Mhm.
So I'll counterpoint that. I'd actually rather see Mixer succeed because competition breeds better products from both sides.
True, but you
Because
also
if
have competition from YouTube, Facebook gaming. You know, there was D Live for a little bit, and like
Mhm.
YouTube and Facebook gaming, I'd much rather see succeed than Mixer. You know what I mean? YouTube is something that's already integrated into your day-to-day lives, not like without live content in the first place.
Yeah.
Same with
So
Facebook.
here's my personal like take on it. If you have a bunch of competition,
You're roboting.
I'm roboting again. Why's my
Yeah.
PC there? We good.
I think you're
There we
good
go.
now.
Okay. So, someone buy me a new PC, please. So having multiple sources of competition is always better because you can always figure out. Then Twitch has to figure out, okay, what do we really succeed on? What can we hammer down on? That
Mhm.
also gives us as streamers and as consumers bigger options, more options.
Right.
In reality, it's not that hard to watch a YouTube stream, watch a Twitch stream, and watch a Mixer stream. Not at the same time, of course. My PC can't handle that. You can see by me just going robot every 10 seconds. But it's not like it's buying a car. Well, once you buy a car, that's a huge investment. You're not going to buy
Right.
another car, most likely. So having more competition is better all around.
True.
Mixer has faster than light streaming. YouTube has rewinds and integration with already previous user channels.
Mhm.
DLive had crypto currency tipping, which I think was actually a pretty interesting concept.
Right.
Twitch has just first mover advantage and probably the biggest user base. Actually, no, the confirmed biggest user base of streamers and people who watch streams,
Mhm.
like guaranteed. So I think having the most competition among every single platform really is better in the long run for everyone. So I don't wish any platform fails. I just want to see platforms, instead of failing, just niching down.
Right. Yeah,
Is
I honestly think they would have been better had they tried to play the long game instead of just try to buy people immediately. You know what I mean? Like if they would have just started off like the way, Twitch did, obviously it'd be a little bit different because, Twitch has already done it first and everything. But I think if Mixer would have taken the long game and just, tried to build a genuine user base as opposed to buying a user base, I think it would have gone a lot better for them.
the issue with that though is the company that owns them. If they
Mhm.
were if you were a startup, right, and Microsoft came in as a VC, you could play that game,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Because you would leave the original creators to build it organically. But
Mhm.
because it came from in-house, the expectations, considering the landscape, like they're being skewed by people who have absolutely no clue
Mhm.
what it's all about. They're seeing numbers on a ledger and they're going, why are we paying for this?
Mhm.
It's just like, we're this company, we're massive, we have this platform, there's clearly a user base. Why isn't this growing? Axe it, right? So like they can't afford to immediately axe it, so you overpay in order to try to create the drawing cards that you need to build the audience. But it's
Right.
still lose. Like your premise is exactly how it should have been. Twitch had the fortune of being first. That's basically what it came down to. It's just like, because we've all been on this platform pretty much from the get-go, one way or another. You can look back like a yearbook and see all the pratfalls and stumbles and roadblocks and screw ups and everything this platform has gone through. But there was
Mhm.
nobody else to take advantage of it,
Mhm.
Exactly.
So it's just like Twitch just got to pave the road, but there's nobody else to just like run them off it. So like they just get to do whatever they want and they build as they go along, and every so often competition comes in with a true differentiating factor. And to Mixer's credit, they had the like zero turnover stream. Do we all remember back in the day when it was a 20-second turnover on a stream?
Mhm.
Like your engagement is entirely skewed differently, and then like Mixer brought it down to like a second.
Yep.
And Twitch is like, oh, we can do that. Not a second. They do have it down to like 3, but it's a
Mhm.
total game changer. They took the one differentiating factor and just like, yeah, we'll just take it. And we're like,
Yep.
thanks, appreciate you doing the R&D for us. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So and they just keep moving along, and every so often you're going to, because everyone's going to try to get in. There isn't going to be a time where people are just going to give up on digital content creation, because like
Mhm.
especially like the generation that's growing up now, if you're like 13 to 16, 18, whatever, you live and breathe online. You don't watch TV, you consume all your media online. So it's like you can't just like leave the market untapped for Twitch to run it forever.
Right.
So like you're going to see people keep putting their toes in the water, and VCs keep trying to like throw money at them to be the next big thing. And Twitch is going to sit on the sidelines and be like, that's a cool feature. That's a cool feature. That's a cool feature. We're either going to take it or we're going to buy you. You know, so it's so difficult, like so difficult if you're in the landscape right now and you're not a heavy, you know, like if you're not like, if you don't got like the fattest of stacks to be like funding this, and like Veli said, you need the patience. It's got to be patient and organic, you know, at this point to really like build. And I don't know if any companies at this point are willing to wait.
Right. I mean, yeah, and just like you said, with Microsoft being, the company that owns it, like they are expecting a lot. They have all that money, so they're totally willing to just pour it in. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think in the future there'll be other attempts, obviously, at more streaming platforms, but I hope that they handle it better than Mixer has so far.
So
Yeah.
here's how I think the next big iteration of streaming platforms, the next platform that will succeed, will be a platform that mixes regular common TV programming
Mm-hmm.
with the online access without the abundance of television advertisements. Because I'm not sure if you guys have watched TV in the last month or something. I moved down to Virginia.
Awful.
I watched TV a little bit, and oh my gosh, I don't know how people. There's no point in titling any of your shows. It just be called ads for 30 minutes. It's just ridiculous.
It
And
really does feel like 2 minutes of show and then 3 minutes of ads.
yeah,
But like
and
Twitch sees the writing on the wall though with that, right? Look at football. Look at Thursday Night
Mhm.
Football. They see it. Like especially like the cultivation of, for all the flack that like Just Chatting gets, Twitch lets that have the latitude that it needs because it represents a type of message that you can't get anywhere else. It's essentially it's variety television. You
Mhm.
know, like, do you want to watch a sitcom or do you want to watch $5 a month? Like everybody's take is a little bit different. But in the end of the day, it's just like I flick the channel. What's the next person on? What's the next thing on my TV? You know, except like it's on Twitch. They see it. They know you can't pigeonhole video games forever. So they expand out.
Yeah.
yeah, I think they need to find the perfect balance between having individual creators and having larger broadcasting companies, larger like show producers come on and make shows that are best for the platform. I'm not
Mhm.
saying take All My Lives and put it on Twitch. That's not going to work. Okay? What you need to do is create the show that benefits from being a live streamed broadcast, that benefits from having a live interactive chat audience, that is advertiser friendly, that is brand friendly, and that is relatively social media shareable, like for like all audiences.
Mhm.
Good example. Imagine if Family Feud with Steve Harvey. Imagine that, but curated to Twitch.
Sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds awesome. Not even gonna lie.
I'm a little surprised there's no game shows. Like really like an
That
abundance
is
of game shows on Twitch. It just
right.
seems like a no-brainer.
We were talking about that last week. That is something that they're working on, as game shows, apparently dating shows. I don't know why they would do that. But yeah, they are working on some reality television coming up and game shows.
Also, with the dating shows thing, we don't know how much research Twitch has done into this. So
Right.
for all they know, they could be like, honestly, there's a market that is not tapped, and there's such an out there product where people may be like, that's crazy, I'm not gonna watch it, and then spite watch it, then be like, oh, this is actually not that bad. Like, look at Jersey Shore. How many people spite watch that, and then they're like, oh my god, I love Snooki, or whatever it was.
Skimmy Vinny, you know.
My God.
Yeah. No,
But
like,
yeah, so I don't know. Do you guys have anything else left on this topic, on Mixer and its 0.2% growth, or any other streaming platform and its individual growth?
I'm waiting for Twitch to get rewinds. Oh, it's gonna be so nice.
Rewinds. Oh, you mean like YouTube rewind?
So, oh no, so if you watch a stream on YouTube, you can rewind the stream while it's live.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the only way to do that is to go through the VODs and then go through the most recent one, which is still the active stream. But you can't just do it while watching the stream.
Yeah, you have to click 75,000 links to get to it.
Yeah, it's too clunky right now.
Much.
That's what it comes down to. It's just clunky. Because like rewind and VOD is not. It's clearly not a Twitch priority.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's the problem. And because like so many folks gravitate to YouTube and they use YouTube as a Twitch archive. like a lot of times, because like there is a need for VODs. You have to be able, like YouTube is a living, breathing VOD at any given time. And it's the platform is massive. And like people are just like, I don't want to watch VODs on Twitch. Well, clearly there's an issue there, because Twitch
Mhm.
should be able to find a way to incentivize its audience that is just looking to gobble up content any way it can to
Mhm.
look at VODs. Like we touched on like passive viewership with Tyler One's situation, and it's like everybody should be finding ways to like be able to like make that happen. But that's absolutely on Twitch's side. They need to be able to put that kind of tech and innovation into their VOD system, and
Mhm.
essentially integrate it into the live platform as well, so you can get things like Rewind.
Yeah. Things
An
will
ice
just be
cold take here. The new channel page is garbage because honestly, if you're back to the whole VOD situation too, if I could just have a section where you can write down all of your VODs and all of your clips and put them in a specific place, have everything specifically where you as a creator wanted it, and not have the stream playing in the background in a really badly organized layout, that probably will knock your CPU users up to 10,000%.
Yeah.
It will melt Threadrippers.
Mhm.
Just I don't know. I can't. I just want a better channel page, and I want Twitch to recognize that. Please, I really want to be able to post VODs and stuff to Twitch directly, so I can
Mhm.
be like, yeah, here's my Twitch page, and that's it.
Yeah.
True. All right. But yeah, so just thought that was crazy. And, 0.2% growth is abysmal for the amount of money that they put into that platform. Next topic we have is Hassan Abi, or I'm going to call him Hassan. I don't know how to. Have you guys heard of this streamer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Lashes out at selfish Twitch chat during daily broadcasts. So chat was basically spamming to watch the PS5 launch, but he was trying to watch Ben Shapiro's systemic racism debunked. So he ended the stream pretty abruptly because he kind of had like a little freak out on the stream because chat was, spamming watch the PS5 launch. So afterwards he tweeted, "Streaming is actually becoming less fun for me as days go by. I think I may need to take some time off. I'm getting tilted by how selfish chatters can be when I know that's exactly why people watch Twitch, so they can shape their entertainment to their fitting. I'm sorry. I can't even get through a 30-minute segment of Ben Shapiro's systemic racism debunked video when my entire community is spamming to watch the PS5 launch. It's disgusting and frustrating and makes me hate everything about the community I've worked so hard to cultivate." Um, you can definitely like understand why he'd be so frustrated, because any streamer ever who has a chat that's trying to control the channel and make it into something that the streamer doesn't want that day is very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
One thing that I really wanted to point out because of this is that a lot of people will say that the larger streamers have it easy because they're fortunate enough to have a large audience to kind of back up their stream and help keep their content going and everything. But this just goes to show that sometimes it's harder, because if you have thousands and thousands of people spamming to do something else in your chat, how do you react to that? You can't just totally ignore chat at that point. You know what I mean? They're trying to control the show, and obviously they were louder than he was, and he's the only one that can say anything, and that's crazy. Sadomi, what do you have on this one?
If you are a large creator, your chat, you have the option of being at the mercy of your chat. And let's be honest, mental health wise, when has having a bunch of people with different opinions who have no accountability be able to put their comments towards you ever been good for anyone's mental health? Never. Never. So in a way, I'm gonna sound like an absolute jerk for saying this. I feel like once you get to a certain user, like a certain viewer count, you need to just realize your chat is just they aren't important. Like, because if you give them too much importance, it's gonna ruin your mental health. Because you're gonna have people who don't like you, people who hate watch you, people who do not agree with what you're watching, and then also at that point, you become dehumanized to them. Because as much I recognize all of us are real people with real problems, real issues, because I've talked to all of you before. But someone who listening to this podcast is probably like, "Oh, who's that Sadomi guy? He's just some angry black man talking about Twitch and marketing. Who is this man? Oh, he's and like, if I pay attention to that, I'd be like, wow, why is this person, because I recognize him as a person, like saying bad things about me? Now
Mhm.
multiply that by 10,000, 5,000, 20,000, 100,000. Especially as he's a political streamer too. So
Right.
you know it's a war field out there. It is not good. And
You're roboting.
what's part two about that? Apples, bananas, and we're back.
There
Are
we go.
we? Yes.
Yeah.
I have to fix that. Anyway, so having all those people, and they also determine how much money you make, your income as well.
Mhm.
Like think of any job where you have 10,000 people telling you how to do your job and how bad you are at it,
Right.
and how like daily, and they have a choice to pay you less based on their own personal opinion on that day and time. Is whew,
Right.
I don't know how they do it. In fact, that's also kind of why I don't want to ever really be a big streamer myself. Like the mental toll for that is not worth it, I think.
Right. Especially when it's something that you do, every day or almost every day. It's something that you put everything you have into it, and it feels like a part of you at that point. It's like with any other art form. If you put yourself out there and people don't like it in that volume, that's got to mess with you.
Mm.
Nagata.
He can close his chat. When I originally saw this story, like, so this man got vexed because everybody on the gaming platform wanted to talk about the biggest gaming reveal over the last like 6 months. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I get it. You're a political streamer. Make your chat sub only. Make your chat, close your chat. Have your mods add the word PS5 to your ban list. Like, you can. There's a million options aside from scorch the earth and close your stream.
Mhm.
And so I was like, and there are points where like I see posts it's like Twitch isn't as fun as it used to be. I'm like, this is this is your job. Like
Right.
we've all worked in, even in jobs that we enjoy. We all have had bad days. We've all had bad bosses, and as Sadomi pointed out, we've all had, you know, crappy people to work with. In this case, there's 20,000 bosses that are breathing down your neck. But this is not a situation that couldn't be avoided.
Mhm.
This what I feel that this is just a straight up mishandle from somebody who wanted to have strict control over how a very fluid audience reacted to their content. It's just like they wanted to watch PS5, like Ben Shapiro's video, it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Like he quite literally could have watched PS5, spiked his numbers because anybody was looking for PS5 numbers at that point, and
Mhm.
then fallen back to the median after the showcase was over. And he probably comes out way ahead, to be quite honest. But
Right.
instead, he wanted his way or no way. And this way,
Mhm.
in this particular spot, he got no way and missed out on significant upside. It's not like they're going to be another PS5 reveal tomorrow.
True.
Like this was like, I think like Slasher posted the numbers for it, and the viewership across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch was like 8 million viewers.
Oh my god.
Like, it was
Okay.
astronomical,
That's huge.
And it was like, nah, I'm gonna leave. I want to
Right.
watch Ben Shapiro. I'm gonna leave. Like, okay, bro. So
Right.
for me, it's a mishandle. It's just he got heated.
Oh,
We all get heated. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? We ain't all robots, but he got heated and he scrapped it and he missed out on an opportunity.
yeah, definitely. And I definitely think that he shouldn't have tweeted what he did, because when he said, what was it? It's disgusting and frustrating and makes me hate everything about the community I've worked so hard to cultivate. So when you say something like that, it doesn't sound like you just hate that specific day. It makes it sound like you just hate the people that watch you.
Yep.
And I think what should have happened is he should have ended the stream, which he did, and then put out something maybe after a day or two saying, like, I think I'm going to take like a week off or 2 weeks off, cool down a little bit, because clearly the passion isn't there right now. You know what I mean? Like the anger is covering the passion by a lot, and it shows with how he reacted on stream. It shows with how he, with how he communicated on Twitter. Um, I just yeah, like you said, I think it's someone overreacting, and I think it could have been handled a lot better. But at the end of the day, it is nice to see that it's not all sunshine and rainbows for larger streamers. You know what I mean? Like that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Like, oh, I'll just make it big time and then everything will be easy then. You know what I mean? Like I will have no bad days at all. And that's definitely not the case by any means. And this just goes to show. But yeah, just thought that was interesting. I do feel bad because it sucks kind of losing your cool on stream. But to go out and say it makes me hate everything about the community I've worked so hard to cultivate, that's a low blow, and that just seems toxic.
Well,
But
he complained about losing 15,000 subs in a month, and
yeah.
and loop it back to the PS5 reveal that he didn't have.
Mhm.
Like there's gonna be fallout for the
Yeah.
not just the tantrum is one thing, the posting, because like I say it all the time, it's taken from the old Social Network movie. The internet's written in ink.
Mhm.
Like that is a post that's going to stick. His audience is immediately going to see it. Even if he tries to get rid of it, somebody's immediately has screen capped it. And that's probably going to come to bite him in the butt.
Yep. Sir Waffle says he
Yep.
should know how to handle it better by this point, and I totally agree. As a larger streamer, you should. I mean, you can say that about anybody in their profession when they get to a certain point that they should know how to handle a little bit better. And some days you just crack a little bit, and I understand that. But to go out on Twitter and to say that, I think that's where it went too far for sure. But I hope he bounces back. I hope he takes his very very needed break, and I hope he finds his passion again. So next topic we have is Twitch records 3.5 million new streamers since January of 2020. I would like to say that this probably has something to do with quarantine, but who knows?
Oh,
Probably
not at
wrong.
all. Not even a little bit.
Right,
That's
not even a little
really? Wow.
bit. But I just thought that was a crazy, like 3.5 million new streamers, not just concurrent streamers or anything. Like 3.5 million brand new streamers because of quarantine, and I think that is awesome. That's the kind of stuff that Twitch needs to be the next YouTube. You know what I mean? To be the next pre-installed app on your phone. You know what I mean? So, Nagata, what do you have on this?
It's a double effect. Obviously, we'll just put the quarantine and be like,
Yeah.
it's a given.
Yep.
I think that more than anything though is that what the quarantine kind of was just like an injection into what was happening already. So it's just like you have like this curve like this, and all of a sudden it's like quarantine made it go like this, right? And because like Twitch is the platform of younger people. Like this is what they watch. The more and more, especially like I'm skewing like slightly older, like I just turned 40, and I have like younger cousins, right? And they're in the range of like let's say 14 to 17, 18, some cousins, some nephews, some nieces. And speaking with them it's heartwarming, I guess, because they can talk like they see me as like, cool uncle because they know what the hell Twitch is.
Mhm.
But like when I talk with them and it's like their parents and a lot of like my own peers are just like they watch television, right? Or so to a point they watch YouTube, but like their kids are watching Twitch, they're watching
Mhm.
YouTube. So like that's how they consume everything, and they want to like get into the platform. The amount of like questions I fielded from like my nephew who's really good at Call of Duty is like it's through the roof, because
Mhm.
he's very much like, I want to be a Call of Duty pro, I want to do this, I watch this person, I watch that person, like awesome.
Mhm.
So like they are going to get in, like you're young and you're stuck at home, and it's like I want to get in on this, and you see it oddly enough in hardware sales. Good luck finding a webcam nowadays, like
Whew.
honest to goodness. Y'all know like a C922, that thing's like a $99. Have fun finding that on Amazon for like $500.
Yeah. Right.
I might
It
flip
is
mine.
seriously, yo, the straight up black market on Logitech cameras. Trust me, you know what I mean. Like it is, and we joke about it, but like hardware sales are the clear sign of things have changing. Like the amount of new, like keep it in mind, a lot of people aren't working like the traditional job. To be clear, they're not working a traditional job, but the amount of spending that is taking place on cameras and microphones and monitors have skyrocketed because they're
Mhm.
home and they want to watch a second thing. All these one monitor folk for the longest time, now they're going on that second monitor. Maybe they're going for a third. You know what I mean? Like hardware sales are through the roof
Mhm.
because everybody is home. They want more content, but more specifically, they know if you want to get into content creation, you're going to need the right tools to do it. Now they have the time. Whether they are still streaming once everything returns to whatever semblance of normal you want to call it, like pre-COVID, is another question. We may be having this discussion a year going like Twitch has lost 2.5 million, creators over the last year. What has happened? You're like, oh, COVID. But in the
Right.
meantime, it's so good. Like you hit it like value, you hit it right on the head. It's so good for the platform. This is what Twitch needs. This is what digital content creation needs in general. If you want to be the next YouTube, you need tons and tons and tons of people pushing hours and hours and hours of content. So I think it's great. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Sadomi, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick while you're talking.
Yeah, I will say Locke said everything I was going to say, so it's going to be pretty short. But, but honestly, yeah, no, like it's the U.S. got stimulus checks. A lot of people got $1,200 just extra. A lot more people are working than I thought they were. After kind of looking at numbers and taking personal polls, I thought almost everyone was out, but then I see a lot of people at Home Depot, at Lowe's, people going out just buying random stuff. And you know what? Honestly, when it comes to content creation, there's going to be a lot of people who are interested in it because it looks so easy, looks so simple. Like, for instance, when you look at me right now, where am I? In a bedroom. I have the most
access, man.
Exactly. Like, anyone could do what I'm doing right now if you have just a little bit of tech knowledge or even the energy to Google or YouTube how to do it. It's not like it's not a high technical skill that we're doing. It takes skill to be good, to do something, productive, to make something of value. But to sit out and just do it, it's not hard. It has a very low barrier to entry. So I think we'll see a lot more people try it. And as technology increases, it's only going to get easier. Who tried to stream back in 2010, 2011? That was, if you guys haven't, let me tell you, you had to have an RMTP server, or you had to, I don't think OBS was it OBS?
OBS wasn't around in 2011. You would have been using like first builds of XSplit at that point.
Yeah, it was for.
Yeah, I would have been doing commentary for esports events.
Oh, live. There's a site called Livestream. I use their software. It was trash. It was horrible. I was running on a really bad laptop too, and I think I was running streams at 30 FPS, 480p, just to get it like going. And oh my gosh, like it's gotten so easier now. I could set up an OBS on someone's PC in 25 minutes. Brand new, fresh out the build, 25 minutes.
Yep.
And you have a stream ready to go. Now it's just so. And also, companies dedicated to the craft. You see this product right here? Y'all know what this is called? I don't need to tell you because if you're a streamer, you know what it's called. It's called a Stream Deck.
Yeah. Just a sidebar for a second. I think the Stream Deck, more than any other piece of hardware, one, is the greatest quality of life upgrade you'll ever have as a content creator.
Yep.
But two, that product has, when you really start to flesh out Stream Deck, that product has so much insane upside outside of streaming. Like the amount of folks that so I use it for like for my editing and for like my Photoshop, and I use it for just like managing like my PC better. I'm like, yup, and it's like there's like streaming hardware has so much like versatility. Stream Deck obviously is like very versatile for obvious reasons. But like it's just brought up in the chat. It's just like streaming software or streaming hardware specific market going to skyrocket in the next 2 years. There it is, like right there. When you look at the Stream Deck, people are just like, I don't know what that is outside of like the streaming platform. It's a matter of time. Like when Veli said earlier, YouTube comes like pre-installed on a phone. The more and more, if you can find ways to like get full integration and functionality into a mobile device, it's all a win. Stream Deck is in there now. Like they've got that thing in there. I don't want to spend $110 on a Stream Deck, but I'll spend $4 a month to have it on my phone. And just like you pull revenue that way, you get the same functionality. Total win-win scenario.
They have that actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Stream Deck does do that. And it's just so there's so much technology around it. So many that's how you know something is really big. The amount of consumer grade products for it. Because you can find a Stream Deck for professionals. It'll run you like a professional like B2B, business to business model. You can find that. It'll be like what, couple $100 maybe. And special software. It has pages of documentation. You have to like read the actual. There's no YouTube videos on it. It's just the actual paper documentation. If the knows at the company will come in and do a demo for you. Now, if you can find consumer grade products, that's how you know industry is booming up.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all a matter of time. And like you can see like the chat right there. Webcam is when you can get a good webcam. And like, I love my Brio, aside from when it's trying to dox me today, apparently. But like I love my Brio 4K, right? But like this thing shouldn't be like the bar. Like the C920, which is the standard of streaming, is a 10-year-old camera. How is that possible?
Right.
Like to the point of
Because they
one,
can
why
make
wasn't it
money
up?
on it.
Yeah. Like one, why is it possible that it's been this old? And two, why hasn't our platform, why haven't the creator base as a whole demanded better
Right.
at a more recognizable price point? You
So
know, you shouldn't have to.
here's my counterpoint to that. So a lot of
Okay.
people who are more advanced content creators use things that are more mobile too when they use their cameras. They're not just sitting at their desks. Someone will go out and take actual photos, like better photo shoots for thumbnails or whatever, and you want a better camera for that. No offense, the C920, it's great for entry, but once you want to upgrade, there's actual real mirrorless and DSLR cameras you can use.
Mm-hmm.
So
But the price point's too significant. I'm saying like
Yeah.
you're right.
the tech has come along over 10 years that a high-end camera that you've laid out should be at a price point that is more recognizable or more comparable, I should say, to
Mhm.
the D920. But there isn't. Like
Right.
if you want to take the next step, you also like, hey, look, there's a second mortgage. Like that shouldn't happen. Like the platform is big enough, the content needs it enough, and the tech has come far enough that you shouldn't be spending more than $100 on a better camera than the C920.
Right.
Now, for when it comes to live streaming, there really isn't a middle ground point. Either you go all in or you don't. But for people who are more YouTubers, people who are more Twitter video people, this device right here, the cell phone, is that middle ground point. If you buy a
Yeah.
decent phone, you have a camera that can almost mirror the quality of a low end DSLR mirrorless camera. Or at some ends, depending on the phone, almost match one.
Mhm.
And people already have their phones anyway. And generally,
Mhm.
people who are streamers are more tech inclined as well. So it's kind of natural that you would have your webcam, then your cell phone to take pictures outside, take video outside, use videos for that. And then also when you're ready to upgrade, then you get your mirrorless DSLR. So I feel like Logitech has done, or whoever hasn't, probably realizes that it'd be such a weird middle ground niche to hit. Because a lot of streamers, when they first start, they're just going to start out and grab the C920 or the whatever Logitech they can find and just use that. And then they won't upgrade for a long time. Because if you're lucky, if you're smart, you can make the C920 look beautiful. You can. If you don't check the settings on it, it can look like an actual like piece of crap. Trust me, I've fixed tens of them, and they're horrible. I hate them, but I love them. So I think that, and also I feel like most people would rather upgrade computer parts anyway instead of getting a new camera.
Yeah, I mean, when you're not as serious about streaming, you know what I mean? I definitely agree. Like, because there is a point where, like, as a stream, like, if you grow as a streamer, there's a point where streaming becomes more important than the actual games that you're playing, as far as like how you feel about them. And I totally agree. I like at one point I would much rather have spent the money on, a video card or something. But now, like, a nice mic upgrade is worth it for me, or in the future I'll get a camera upgrade. Just the same as like before I started streaming, a monitor upgrade would have been nice, but I didn't touch a new monitor until my chat bought me one. You know what I mean? Because the monitor doesn't make the stream any better for them. It just makes it better for me. And I wasn't willing to spend, a couple $100 on that. But luckily, chat came through on that for me. But yeah, totally agree with that. It's all based on priorities and how long you've been streaming for. But yeah, 3.5 million new streamers since January is awesome. And I know people are wondering how many of those people will stay. Probably, the same amount again.
I lose.
Your camera hates you, dude.
My camera hates me today.
Right.
Is it going into sleep mode?
I don't think so. I've never come across this. I've had
He's
this
got
camera
a Brio.
for
It's
over
still
a year.
a USB camera, right?
Oh, that's why there hasn't been an upgrade, because Logitech can't make a camera that.
Right.
that works out the box.
Yeah. Unless it's a C920, which you can get for like $80 and it's 10 years old. It's got
It
to
still
be like
doesn't
10
work out the
cents.
box.
It's got to
Yeah,
be
dress
like
it up.
10 cents to make one of those, and they're selling it for so much. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, why would you change it if you can sell this camera for that much and make it for that cheap? But yeah, so 3.5 million new streamers since January is awesome. I hope a lot of people do stick around. That's obviously a lot more people that are learning how awesome and I guess how undervalued Twitch is as a whole. You know, all these people are now learning how awesome Twitch is. So I think that's great. I use this C270 still. I don't know what that is, dude.
So like I think it shoots at 360p at 10 FPS. About
I'm Sadomi now, by the way.
Oh, I'm
what?
sorry,
Stream.
guys. That's my
Okay.
bad.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
What it is?
Hey, there we go. We good? All right. But so next topic we have is Pokimane admits Twitch deal was a difficult decision. And she's talked about this before a little bit, but she was saying in this podcast that she was on that the money is very, very life-changing money, like to where like it's almost worth completely selling out just to get this kind of money to switch to, you know, she didn't say which specific platform was offering her money, but I think we can all assume it was either a YouTube or Mixer. So turning down that kind of money had to have been difficult. And she apparently told Twitch that if they don't offer her anything, she has no choice but to switch to get the money. You know what I mean? And that's crazy. And it's cool that she, you know, stuck with Twitch, even though she's getting less money. She still got a deal, of course. But, you know, taking less money to stay on the platform that she likes, I thought was a good move. But she brought up things like what happens when, you know, other streamers, you know, when their contracts are up at Mixer or whatever, what do they do? And I don't know if we were talking about this last time on the podcast or if I was talking about this on my stream, but I can totally see, you know, Ninja Shroud coming back to Twitch in the future once their contracts are up. You know what I mean? And Twitch will probably pay them at least a little bit. What do you guys think?
Yeah. If I'm Shroud, it depends what I want to do in whatever my contract's up, because who knows? Maybe Shroud likes streaming to less people. Because I've noticed, I've been watching his VODs a lot. He has days where he'll just sit there and just read chat for a few hours, then play like COD for a few hours and sit back and read chat again to answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he really just enjoys having less people in his chat.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely might.
Yeah, so he might even just stay on Mixer just because there's less people there.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Like none of us have had a consistent stream with tens of thousands of people, I'm assuming. I know I haven't. And I think the most fun streams when you have enough people in chat where chat's flowing, but it's not necessarily overwhelming, you know? And that's different for every person. And definitely, you know, after reading hundreds of thousands of people in chat, chat just kind of goes too fast, you can't sit down and read it. But being able to kind of sit down and just focus on those few chatters he has and there's other thousands of lurkers, that might be fun and better for him in general. So he might not want to come back to Twitch for that reason.
Definitely possible. Nagata?
I look at the landscape right now like sports. You have a lot of really great, to use a comparison, you have great athletes within a sport, and everybody's been underpaid for a long time. And so you have the Dallas Cowboys come along and they're just like, we're going to pay you and you $10 million. And now all of a sudden the landscape has changed entirely. Like for all of the mocking, whatever else about jumps and this and that, what the Mixer exclusivity contracts did was immediately change the landscape right across the board, because all these companies go, holy crap, now we have to sign them. You have to sign these folks, right? Because if you do not sign them, somebody else will sign them. The landscape is too rich at this point with too many large companies, because like every single content creation platform is backed by a very large multi-billion-dollar or coming up on trillion-dollar, you know, with Amazon, right? So you're just like, okay, what do we need to do here? And so Pokimane is like when Pokimane signed, personally for me, I was just like, oh girl, you should have gone to YouTube. Like that was my immediate thought. I'm like, because like her videos, like her edited videos on YouTube drop very well. and like you could quite literally be like the face of like live streaming on YouTube. You're not a faceless like esports athlete,
Mhm.
like she is something unto herself. I'm a very, very big fan of both Tim the Tatman and Pokimane for like what they represent in terms
Mhm.
of like the faces of the platform. So I thought that the signing of Pokimane by Twitch was great. But
Mhm.
yeah, like the landscape itself is different, and like for her, it's a little surprising to see that she actually had to go back to Twitch and be just like, where my money?
Right.
Like that Twitch wasn't like kicking down her door and then like breaking down the braces with a Brinks truck,
Mhm.
because like she is absolutely, when I think of like who is the woman of Twitch, I think of Pokimane. And
100%.
I'm sure there are other women on the platform who draw just as well or possibly bigger. I have no idea, but in terms of like her brand awareness and like she stays out of trouble, she's just like straight up like wholesome content pretty much like all the
Mhm.
time. You know what I mean? Like she's everything that you would want as a representative of the
Absolutely.
top of the food chain, and somehow she wasn't prioritized. Like, she wasn't in the first. Like, she wasn't in the first wave.
Mhm.
Like she came in like the second wave of like Twitch's exclusive acquisitions, and like that's insane.
Mhm.
Like how do you let that slide? And now when this article drops, and she had to go back to them and be like,
Mhm.
if you don't give me what, and nobody knows what the cost of it was, but the fact that she had to go back and be like, where is my due? How do you not
Mhm.
recognize my value as a representative on this platform? Something
Mhm.
is not right. I mean, like, yeah, you can joke about that in the chat about like Amaranth, but like her viewership is literally a quarter of Pokemon's.
Right.
For like her notoriety, maybe significantly higher than Pokimane, but like her viewership and what she represents in terms of like a revenue draw to the platform is, it's a quarter, quite literally a
Right.
quarter.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that like Pokimane and like a lot of folks, I was really happy to see like things like Tim. Um, I thought like when Ninja was first acquired, if I were Mixer, the loop back we were saying before, my first person I would have acquired was Tim the Tatman.
Yep. Agreed.
Hundred
And who
percent.
knows? They could have tried. They could have tried. He
Maybe.
could have just
I
said
feel like
no.
they did. They definitely tried. They didn't know what they
Yeah.
didn't try.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like he was truly like the gem of it all, because he has like
Mhm.
he has all like the gaming aspects of things, but he has the best, like he treats his community like community.
Right.
Like you go in there and you're like hanging with your boy, and like
Mhm.
that's how it's like I feel like it should always feel, and it's one of the hallmarks of like Twitch. But he stayed with Twitch, thank goodness for that, because like I want to be able to watch this man, I want to stay here while I do it,
He's
so
the only
it's
person I would have switched to Mixer, like just to go watch him, is Tim the Tatman for sure.
that's exactly it, man. And so like I can see her struggle. The landscape is only going to get bigger, and you'll see like the next acquisition and the next one, and
Right.
then you just like the money can only rise and rise and rise, because each subsequent person who signs a deal raises the bar, because we don't know it as a public, but internally, all these folks, they have to talk to each other. They have agents who talk to each other and everything else, so they know what the landscape is and how it's rising, right?
Mhm.
And so you'll wait for the Ninja Shroud deals are 3 years, so you'll have a certain bar, and then their deals are going to come up.
Mhm.
And if Mixer is looking to re-sign, they're going to have to re-up, because they're not going to sign at the same value, because their brand awareness, if everybody has done their job correctly, it should have increased accordingly. So like
Mhm.
everybody else is supposed to get paid. It's like I said with the beginning, it's like it's sports. It's just like every pro athlete. I want to be the next best paid quarterback. If this guy got 30 million, I want 33. The next person wants 37. The next person wants 40. The next person wants 42 with guarantee X amount of money. Like it never stops. And the same thing is going to happen on this platform. Pokimane, let's say Pokimane like signs for $1 million, and like the next person afterward, like their agent or manager has done their job correctly and be like, these metrics say my client deserves 1.25, and they just going to keep elevating. So I can see where she's coming from, because like right, it's like she no longer gets to play the field. Nobody gets to play off of each
Right.
other. You're locked in at X amount of money. This is your upside. I'm stuck for probably 3 years,
Mhm.
and um, you don't know what'll happen in 3 years. Like a lot of things could change, but you hope that you got the right amount of money for it.
Especially in
Yeah.
this industry. This industry, 2017 Twitch was way different than 2020 Twitch. 2020 Twitch can be way different than 2023 Twitch. 2025 Twitch, whew,
Yeah.
whew, I wouldn't. As someone who's been in the live stream space for the last like about 3 years super actively, I would never put any money on anything in the next 2 years, let alone 5.
Too much
Oh
volatility.
my gosh, exactly. And also, this is the first time streamers are being paid by the actual platforms,
Right.
like directly. Like
Yep.
when you think about that, how much money they've already drawn in without being directly paid, and how much brand awareness they have. Because without Twitch, without the streamers, Twitch has nothing.
Right.
And also, if you guys didn't know, Twitch is allowed to use the rights of all your content that you produce on Twitch in perpetuity, forever. So Twitch can. I'm not entirely sure what the contract was, but based on the TOS, they can use footage of Ninja still until Twitch is dead. As long as he has an account with Twitch, they can use it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of that contract in sports, let's say Nike made a deal with Michael Jordan, and they had that deal in perpetuity. That means even when Michael Jordan passes away in 2100, by 2100, they can still use the Jordan brand. They can still say, yo, these are new Michael Jordans. That's what perpetuity means. Perpetuity means forever.
Mm-hmm.
And having the rights to your content, for people forget that Twitch, like when you have the rights to it, they can use it however they want to use it. That's why you notice Twitch can use your channel, like your clips in any of their Twitch posts, Twitter posts, whatever posts, without paying you a cent because you use their platform.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're just now paying streamers for use of their likeness and brands in any other industry would be insane.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I think that the sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I just wanted to touch on something really quick.
Yeah.
It's the likeness rights in perpetuity. I feel probably about 10 years from now, that is going to be a major negotiating point for a lot of top streamers. Be like, I want mine. You know, the music industry is very much like that. You know, it's just like, I will make my records for you. My masters are mine. You know, it's like, these belong to me. You do not get to redistribute it without a royalty or anything along those lines. It is inevitable because the content is just there's so much of it and it has so much value. And streamers are they're just handing it to the platform. You know, and at some point in time, like, I think that Ninja will be fascinating to see more than anything if his branding has enough power. If he were to come back to Twitch, or if they were to negotiate for Twitch, he would probably go after his rights. He'll probably go after his rights fees is probably the best way to put it, and to ensure that Twitch does not get exclusive rights in perpetuity going forward. You know, it would be a major battle point, and if they get it, it'll set the tone for like content creation going for years and years to come.
Yeah, agreed. Durham says, where the union at? I don't know if unionizing streamers would really work because of the lack of options you have to go stream at. You know, like you have Mixer, which just grew 0.2% in a year. That's not really a valid option for anybody. YouTube, I think would work. Facebook, I think would work. But at the end of the day, you're still switching platforms. And based on what's happened previously, the chances of even 15% of your community following you to a different platform is very, very low.
Yeah.
Very low.
Also, what would a union really do? Because technically, we are all sole proprietors of our own business.
Yeah, exactly. You're basically just hurting yourself at that point.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think a guild would be better, honestly. I know it sounds kind of gamery, but I think legit a streamer's guild would be a better way of like doing that. Of having
so
like
random.
a place where, oh yeah, think about it. A place where it's like, hey, if you're a streamer, we have this company, we have a deal with them, you can get health insurance.
Yeah.
You can have a tax guys. We have there with our guild, you pay like membership fees or whatever. And that would work probably a lot better because we have our own, as streamers, broadcasters, independent content creators, we have so many different needs that we don't have as not being employed from people.
Right.
So having all those services together, kind of grouped together, so you don't have to search individually. You can have them vetted by other people in the industry, so you know who's best. They know what to do. Because I'm not sure if you guys done your taxes yourself or with other people, or trying to rent a place on full streamer income or non-traditional. I don't work a 9 to 5. I don't run my own business doing online stuff. They're like, oh, you do porn? It's like, no, make videos, yada yada. It's all funky. So
Right.
Having
I
that
think
guild would be better anyway.
Yeah, I think the closest thing we have right now to that, and not something that like any of us have access to, like we could go and pay somebody to be an agent if we really wanted to, if we wanted to fork over what probably is most, if not all, or more than our earnings on Twitch, we could go hire an agent to do these kind of things for us. Like that's the beauty that like, you know, Pokemon has, Tim the Tatman, Ninja, Shroud, all these like very high level content creators have, is they have agents that can do this kind of stuff for us or for them. You know what I mean? Um, so I think maybe a guild for something, you know, for the content creators that are like us or like in the more mid tier, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
People that, you know, really aren't going to go out of the way to pay an agent to handle all that kind of stuff for them.
Mhm. To Durham's point in the chat about like the NFL, NBA, etc. If you understand the amount of time that there actually have been unions in the grand scheme of how long the respective leagues have been around, it's
Mhm.
really short.
Very short. It's like
Most unions have not been around that long at all.
right. I want to say it's like 20 years or something, maybe 30.
The NFL is 30. I mean, like Major League
Right.
Baseball has been around since like the late 1800s, and
Mhm.
they didn't get a union for like 80 years.
Yep.
So like it's a like we touched on this earlier. Twitch is in its infancy. Content creation is in its infancy. You know,
Yep.
Twitch is literally 8 years old. YouTube is 14 years old. You know, and they're smart enough to recognize to pay the top of the food chain pretty well, especially recently.
Mhm.
And there's just enough trickle effect right across that because like in order to form a union, you need really talented mid-level being grossly underpaid, and that's not the case when it comes to Twitch. Your mids are doing very solid. When your mids are pulling like, I only made $150,000 last year. It's like, you know, like nobody's complaining about that.
Right.
You know, so it's like you're being able to like form that kind of union, or even like I think a guild is a fascinating idea. I would love to flesh that out with you sometime. But like the idea of like a union though, you literally don't have the numbers
Yeah.
to I mean like you can go after the affiliates guild of like 3 viewers and like see if you can like get better representation. Maybe you can get like, you know, a 49 split on your sub, but like aside from that, like there's not enough there to warrant that kind of like proactive action. So
Mhm.
Exactly. And also, when do we break the? Because there are people who make money from streaming, and people who don't, and people who do it as a hobby and as a career, and people who do it as a simple side hustle, and people who just do it on the weekends and still
Mhm.
making bank. There's too much variation in that because everyone in the NFL is doing that for a living. Everyone in the NBA is doing
Right.
it for a living. You're not playing in the NBA just on the weekends. No, you're not doing that. And there's no
Bro. Oh, that's so true.
and there's no beer league association that
Right.
really does anything.
Right.
yeah, that's
So
amazing.
Valid points. All right. So last topic we have for today, instant emote uploads. This is something that everybody has wanted ever since the existence of being able to be an affiliate that has emotes. Starting now, as long as you have streamed at least 60 days as an affiliate over a rolling 2-year period, the days do not have to be sequential. New affiliates cannot count time prior to being an affiliate in the 60 unique days. You also cannot receive a term of service warning, a community guidelines warning, or had an emote denied or removed within the rolling 60-day streaming window. You get instant emote uploads as soon as instant emote as soon as you upload them. So there's no review process anymore as long as you haven't had any issues in the past. Same goes for partners as well, obviously. But just really cool stuff because I know that there's been like wait times for like 2 or 3 months for people to get emotes before, which is absurd. Because if I make a new emote, I don't want to wait God knows how long, you know, before my community gets access to it. So the fact that it's just now starting to be a thing the day of is kind of crazy, but I'm just glad that it's finally here. Sadomi.
so this is good for everyone in so many ways. Let's look at why it's good for Twitch as a company. One, they can save money on people having to go through each and every single email. That takes. I feel sorry for whoever's job that was. Now they got to do something else. But but that workload was just so much for however many teams. They either had to hire more people on to take care of it faster, or just, do what they did here, which is great. So they save money that way, which means they can use that money to put people on different projects, spread it out differently. It's great for the streamers because, sorry, back to Twitch first. It's great for Twitch because it still has an amount of accountability. So because of those restrictions, if you want to be a malicious actor, like you want to post some racist emotes, like really racist ones, like the troll ones, you can do it once every, if you're really good at getting affiliate with like your friend group, once every 90 days. Because you lose your account, get negative status, remake a new account, upload emotes, and no troll's going to last for 3 months. They don't have that. If they do, call somebody. For streamers, it's great because guess what? We got our emotes faster. We get them on the spot. If I have an emote that's very time sensitive, like a holiday emote, I don't have to get them in October for December. And they're just like there. I can upload them same day. And it's beautiful. It's so much nicer. Emo artists will have. Oh, actually, this is gonna spike emo artists right now too, because they're gonna have more people like, oh hey, emotes, forgot about them. Time to get new ones because they're instant. Yeah, let's get it. Good for them. And like I said, this is the first time I've seen Twitch do a win-win-win-win-win. Like everyone wins.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, the last time I think they did something like this is when they changed the payout to the 15th of every month.
Yeah.
After you hit $100, because before that it was like there was like a 90-day period you had to wait, and then they brought it to like 60 and then 45, and then now it's like 15 days after the last month that you hit that $100 is when you get your payout, which was I think just as important as the emotes.
Yeah,
if
because
not, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, because I know if you're like relying on Twitch income to make like a living, you want your paycheck. If it's extra, you're probably a bit more like, okay, cool, whatever. But if it's like, if that's dinner, you want dinner.
I want my dinner, bro. Look at me, I'm fat. I need it.
I need it. This actually loops into our very first topic. The sheer amount of new creators on the platform because of the quarantine necessitated this. You had 3.5, whatever it was, 3.5 million new people. What was the number? You have 3.5 million people. Let's say even a third of them got affiliate status. Even if you took 500,000 of them got affiliate status, they all.
I didn't even think about that, bro.
Yeah,
Twitch is just freaking out. It's like, what are we gonna do about these emotes?
Yeah, they're gonna come out of the woodwork. Every last one of them is gonna come out of the woodwork. Even if 500,000 people got one emote, you just dropped 500,000 new emotes in a bucket for people to deal with. They're like, hell no.
Exactly. Those people that have been like kind of quiet about like, why don't we just make this instant? Now they're like raising like, hey, like, you want us to be backed up for the next 2 years? Like, how about we change this a little bit? Like, I'd be freaking out if I was those people. And clearly, whatever they did, it worked. Yeah. And it benefits, like Sadomi said, it's a win-win-win. Like everybody across the board, aside from maybe potential bad emotes getting through, but I think they're relying on the Twitch community to report those.
So that's also why that's such a big win right there, because that gives the Twitch community more trust in itself.
Yep.
And at that point, if everyone knows that emotes are automatically approved, there's more lenience with Twitch at that point. Like, why'd you let this email go through? Like, wait, let me report it. It's automatic, so it's on them.
Right.
And that gives community more, like I said, more power. And people love power, dude. Whew.
Yeah, making the community more self-sufficient, which is just great. Awesome stuff.
It's all upside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All upside, so we'll take it.
The only downside I could see is a bad actor, like a bad community, being a community of bad actors, and then Twitch doesn't act fast enough on getting rid of some really the bad actors. But I feel that's such a big risk though for the creator, because for a joke like that, are you willing to risk like your entire channel? And for some people, like for those kind of channels, what, like $100, like $80, $100, is it worth that to you?
Right.
There's just enough accountability where I don't think we'll see that much of a problem.
Right. And cancel culture on Twitch is so prominent that will happen so fast.
Yeah.
Like you won't even know the emote exists by the time that channel's banned, dude. Like people are going to be all over that. Like, oh, there's another streamer we can cancel who's doing terrible things. Like, let's be woke, get this dude canceled stat. And that's going to happen. I can't wait.
Twitch can't handle this dub, boss man.
I can't wait. But that is the last topic for today. I'm going to end it a little short today. Like I was saying earlier, I'm feeling a little under the weather. My voice kind of definitely sucks a lot. But with that being said, Nagata, it was great to have you back on the show again, man. It's been too long, my guy. I
I'm
know you
super
can only
happy to
do the
be here.
Mondays. Yeah, we're happy to
Yeah.
have you, man. That was awesome. Where can people find you, and what have you been up to with your content creation lately?
Oddly enough, we were talking about the Tyler thing. I took 2 months off because work was insane.
Mhm.
I work for an ISP, so leave it to say
Cool.
we've never been busier. Yeah.
Bless my heart.
So I took 2 months off. Everybody can find me on every platform possible under twitch.tv/Nagata2, and it's Nagata2 right across everything you can possibly think of. I do Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Primarily fighting games, but I've been segueing a lot more into just talking. Like I think that with so many people home, a lot of people just want someone to talk to.
Yes.
So they are just. I've had a lot more streams where it's just me sitting in a chair, just talking with people about whatever's on their mind lately. So but yeah, come on through. But yeah, again, thank you very, very much for having me. I had so much fun. I love doing this.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad the scheduling worked out this time.
Yeah, it was awesome to have you, man. Sadomi, where can people find you? What have you been up to?
And you can find me at twitch.tv/Sadomi, Sadomi, or on Twitter, Sadomi TV. And I have been spreading the good word about Black Lives Matter because y'all, it's rough out here for a black man. It's rough out here for any person of color. And we got to get this system fixed. And if you want more information, you can come talk to me. If you don't know how to feel about it, I'm open for discussion too. If you are on either side of the discussion, please open it up. I love discussion. I love talking. I love exploring people's perspectives. And come to me on Twitter, come to me on Twitch, hit me up. I'm always open to talk about it.
There you go. Please hit these dudes up with some love. I would highly appreciate it. They both deserve all the love and support you can throw their way and then some. So if you guys could please make sure to go spread that love over to their channels, I would highly appreciate it. I am Velokk_TV. You can find me on Twitch at Velokk_TV. Same with any social media platform. And lately I've been doing a lot of Valorant and Warzone, and that's pretty much it. But thank you again for tuning in for another episode of StreamKey. We always love having you guys here. I know we didn't really open up for questions at all today. Kind of a weird one, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you guys next week, Monday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as long as my apartment doesn't leak all over the place again. But we'll see you guys next week. Thanks again, everybody. Love you all. And Sadomi,
Black Lives Matter.
there you go. Take it easy, guys.